Corey? Thank you. I will present the next panelist to you, Ms. Susan Sinazzi. She is Chief Editor, Metropolis Magazine. And Susan holds an MA degree in Modern European History from Rutgers University and teaches design history and design ethics at New York Personal School of Design. She is a frequent lecturer and panel moderator on broadening design topics and also the founder of Art Dot, a coalition of New Yorkers who came together after the 9/11 tragedy to contribute their expertise to build the 21st century metropolises at the site of the former World Trade Center in New York. Susan?
I could say that we were not successful at building that 21st century metropolis because business is as usual everywhere. Big money is in charge, and the ideas that were brought forth after 9/11 have been ignored by the people who are in charge. So Dr. Shiva, thank you for standing up for us, and thank you for talking about the issues that concern humanity in a really deep way. And one of the things that I was thinking about as I sat through the first session is that that session sort of symbolizes for me our problem and our future issues around technology. We seem to be able to swallow whole cloth everything about technology. We have the technology that we talked about this morning, this wonderful cloud that's going to be available to everyone, and it is going to free us, and it's going to connect us, and it's going to do all of these great things. And technology has been doing all of these great things for all of us for years. Technology has also brought us genetic alteration of our food supply. And I think we have to think about how we use the technology and not follow it as if this was manifest destiny of human beings, that this is going to, we have to do what technology dictates. We have to make choices. We have to think about what technology brings us, what it does, when do we stop using it, how do we use it, how do we think about it. The idea that it could destroy diversity when technology is now talking about diversity, perhaps with the hopes of bringing it back. And frankly, only human beings, aided by technology, but human beings also as human beings on the ground in local situations, not these global creatures that are communicating all across clouds, but sitting here in our communities making things happen, just like Dr. Shiva is making things happen all over the world, and especially in India. I think we really have to rethink all of those things that we've been doing. And I would like us all to kind of step back now before we ascend and descend into this cloud and think about how we use what we have and how we employ things for human health and for well-being. And the fact that if we have gone so far as to wipe out diversity in our farm products, which obviously we have, then I think we have to say, wait one moment. Let's consider how we use design, how we use technology, how do we relate to these two things together, and what are the consequences so that we don't do this again and we start thinking about a more complex way of dealing with our knowledge, which is enormous, which is very creative, and at the same time extremely disruptive and destructive. So let's admit that, and let's work with that, and let's be more intelligent than we have been about technology before, because I think what we just heard really is a cautionary tale, and it exists, it is there, and people are living it and dying from it.
I have to meet my friend.
I would like to introduce the last, not the least, presenter, the panelist, Dr. Anthony Dunn. Professor Dunn is the professor and head of Design Interaction Department at the Royal College of Art in London. He used design as a medium to stimulate discussion and debates among designers, industry, and public about the social, cultural, and ethical implications of existing and emerging technologies. His work has been exhibited at the MoMA, the Pompidou Center, and the Science Museum in London. He has consulted for Sony Company, Philips Design, National, Panasonic, and France Telecom. Anthony, please.
Is this working? Thank you very much. Yeah, that was really inspiring and a really thoughtful talk. I've kind of put down some responses. They're not in a smooth flow, but I kind of work my way through them, and hopefully they'll all add up to something by the end. I think when you were talking about growing food on Mars, it sort of got me thinking about how these technological dreams emerge and where they come from, and the sort of huge gap between the science that's been done in laboratories, often idealistically and for all the right reasons, and what happens as it moves into everyday life and via the marketplace, and how it starts to become distorted and the usual big industry kind of goals and agendas kick in. And I started to feel that maybe designers need to get involved, and so far I think designers haven't really been that involved in the biotechnological field in the way they have in other areas of technology, but not as a servant to the biotech industry, trying to make these technologies more consumable and acceptable to us, but more independent as a profession of humanists, trying to somehow make these abstract issues, like the one you mentioned of patenting life forms, more concrete and less abstract, so that we can actually see what the implications are and get alarmed about it before it kind of sneaks up on us. And I think that when I was growing up in the 60s, we had these dreams, very technological dreams. We're all going to be holidaying on the moon, probably going to get our food on Mars as well. And I just found out the other day, yesterday actually, that since I was born in the 60s, the population of the world has doubled. And all those dreams have become unsustainable. I mean, things are just collapsing around us, and wealth is unevenly distributed. In the UK at the moment, third level education is being closed down and limited to very small groups of society. And it seems that there aren't dreams anymore. I try to think, what are today's dreams? And they seem to be reduced somehow to hopes, and that we hope we can feed starving people, we hope that we can save the planet, and so on. And another side of me wonders, can biotech spark a new set of dreams in the way that maybe modernism harnessed a certain technological possibility in the 20th century? And maybe underneath the bad stuff that's happening, as you talk about, there's a kind of intelligent eco-symbiosis that could become possible as the world continues to fill up and overpopulate. I think these dreams can't be the dreams of industry. They have to come from somewhere else. So I think while you were talking, I was thinking about, or wondering, I guess, could designers become catalysts that somehow articulate a more humanistic view of biotechnology and give form to both hopes and fears? And I think based on my experience of working in education, I believe it is possible. And I believe there's a generation that aren't so obsessed by digital technology and the internet as we'd like to think, and that they are thinking about deeper and more complex issues. But I also think, based on my experience in education, we need to expose design students to biotechnology as a real thing. And I'm shocked when I